Okay guys, I'm right now in the back of the Kia Sportage, and I have to say it is very spacious, even though there's a slight little raised hump in the middle. So basically you're gonna have, if you have kids, no one wants to sit in the middle because they don't want to have to put their feet up. But for the passengers that are actually sitting on either side of the door, they have a lot of space. And the way that the chair in front has been risen, and that's actually in my position, but even if it had been raised low, you still have lots of space down here. So the Sportage is actually pretty nice and spacious inside, despite it looking kind of, how would you say, small from the outside compared to other cars that I'm used to driving. So this is not, as you guys are aware, not the top spec one. So you have some toys, but there's no kind of USB charger in the back. It just have your vents. You can't even control your AC vents. So whatever the driver decides to choose is what you're going to get. Not ideal. You have a small, really small, it claims you can put a bottle in here, but I don't know what bottle you're going to have. Probably some little 50 ml bottle. But no, besides that, it's okay. Lots of room on the top. And I'm just trying to see. Yep, with this car, you have the option to lean back. Good for long trips. Let me put a bit higher. Oh yeah, who would say like that? Hey, at least now let's go back. Now, I always like to test all cars when it comes to the armrest. Yes, this one has a cup holder, albeit very small one. So I wouldn't really see you holding anything here, not even a coffee. Just a small bottle of water, maybe, if you're lucky. All right, that's kind of covers it. Nothing special on the back. It's really basic. This is the, I think, yeah, the Kia 2, which just had no toys. Let's jump to the front and see what toys we get. All right. Okay, guys, I'm right now in the front of the Kia. And at least the good thing with this car, there's a bit more toys in the front. So, of course, you have your Android Auto, Apple Play. You get to control your AC and everything. Buttons, so you don't have to go look in the screen. Now, one thing I was a bit surprised, because I've driven other Kias before and they have a lot of toys. This one only has, besides your cruise control, not the dynamic radar cruise control, so it doesn't stop and go. I mean, it is the Model 2. I think they have different levels, but this is probably just the one level above the base. And this one, at least, it has lane control, it warns you, but no blind spot mirror, none of that kind of stuff. Very basic. And oh my gosh, look, biggest gonna be choosy. At the end of the day, I rented this car. It wasn't like I actually leased it for a long term or I actually bought the car. This is just a short-term rental for a client here in the UK. And let's just say I had forgotten how bad manuals are on certain cars. Like I tell anyone who asks me about cars, do not buy a Mercedes manual, because you are going to forever hate Mercedes. They don't do good manual Mercedes, honestly. Yeah, maybe back in the days, in the truck days, but no. Kia, when I was driving this manual, and it sounds like sometimes a diesel, it's a petrol. It sounds like a diesel when I'm trying to move off. And at least with the Vauxhalls and the Ford, their clutch control or the ability to their biting point, the way the car moves is pretty good. But I think this car, it's not designed to have a manual. It's automatic for lazy driving. But no. And what else there to mention? The glove compartment is okay. They have the original Kia books in there, but really not that spacious. When I check in here, the armrest, yep, a bit of space. A little space to put your phone in here. It's not a wireless charging one, but it's okay. And this is really smart nowadays. These car manufacturers, I think that they've taken it from Tesla. So they put buttons in here. Now, with Tesla, the good thing about it is all electric, so it's just kind of be like you pay for extra and then they release these updates. Whereas there's still old school manufacturer where it shows you how poor you are because you couldn't afford the top range. And that's why the buttons here, there might have been buttons for some cool features, but I don't have visibility of that. So yes, one thing I did notice about Kia is that over the years, they've taken less. They're giving you less and more. So Hyundai is now giving you better bang for the buck. But anyway, besides that, the camera is pretty decent. Let's see if I was to see if I can show you. But I think from my perspective, Kia kind of, the old Kia Sportage was really cool. They had a lot of toys, but now manufacturers are catching up. So I'm not that really impressed with it in regards to other Kias I've driven. The Kia Niro, the electric one I had, that was really good. Had lots of toy. Of course, you know, I've seen some like with the Citroen, the French. Good thing about them, they have toys. The bad thing about them, those toys don't last, okay? But no, I think that kind of covers it. There's nothing else to show you here. Let me just kind of quickly switch the camera on so you can see how it looks, all right? Okay, if I now was to put this, you can see it's pretty decent in that sense. So I have to admit, that's the only thing that I like with this car. You get to really enjoy seeing, and then the sensors here are pretty good and they're sensitive. So yeah, other than that, nothing else. It's okay when it comes to the basics just for a driver, but yeah, I think probably if I had a top spec Kia, I might be giving a better review on this car. Here we go, let's try this. So electronic brake already is a pain. I got used to buttons being here. Now I need to find, why would you put the parking brake here? Oh, Kia. Okay, so the good news, you guys get to see good old gray Leeds. Usually it's pretty nice and sunny. Yesterday was a beautiful day, but today, unfortunately, let me get myself ready here. Perfect. So today, unfortunately, I'm having to give you guys a full tour of gray Leeds. So let's try and find out how it goes. So luckily I found a nice little private car park to record this, and I'm gonna drive around Leeds and give you my opinion of what I think of the Kia Sportage. Let me give you a bit of history. I think a few years ago, not this model, the model after, I actually rented this car. And again, because the good thing about these car rental companies, what they like to do is they like to always upgrade you. And I kept on saying, you know what, if you have a good salesperson, I can't say no. That's my problem. I'm just too nice. However, I started playing their game. So what I did is two things. First, I basically decided to always rent the cheapest car. So you're looking about a Corsa. So if I do get upgraded, then at least the deal is much better than me trying to upgrade from the beginning. That's number one. Number two, insurance. They always add extra insurance. They scare you to death. I even had, example was once years ago when I was with Hertz Car Rental. Basically, I ended up having, somehow I got registered through the American website. So I turned up to one Hertz Stansted one day at London Stansted Airport. And they go, yeah, no problem, here's your car. And also there's an excess of $36,000. I said, sorry, what? Yeah, that's a car value. I said, what's that got to do with me? I said, you're trying to sell me your little top-up insurance. I said, I understand the excess from 1,500 to 200 pounds, but what's this 36? No, because you've come in through the American website, they have this policy where they can charge. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the Americans, they really know how to take liberties with them. Anyway, long story short, I decided to buy this, what they call a excess insurance. So it's about £45. You can shop around, and that covers you for Europe, because I used to drive into Europe as well, and it also lets you drive. So I just, you know, and this is a well-known insurance company, so, you know, heaven forbid anything happens, at least I have that option. But no, in regards to, how would you say, in regards to car rental, they always try to sell it. Anyway, back to the Kia. So a few years ago, I rented this Kia Sportage. I loved it. I actually said, this is the car I'm going to end up owning. This is the car I want to, how would you say, you know, drive forever. I was really like on that level of like, and how would you say, trying to and really like convince myself I need a Kia Sportage. I need a Kia Sportage. But no, I ended up not buying that and just going for a Lexus. But then thank God I didn't, because even though they have 7-year warranty, there's been some horror stories of Kia of actually not honoring some of the things they promised their customers, or not actually, and how would you say, fixing the problem. So you're having brand new cars having gearbox problem. It's a bit scary there. But what slightly annoyed me more was the fact that Hyundai I used to consider as the poor brother, you know, similar to when you compare your VW and the Audi, for example. But no, lo and behold, yeah, they decided to, how would you say, make the Hyundai much better quality. You get more bang for the buck. and the Kia Sportage becoming more expensive. I didn't understand it. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of their premium cars look really nice, honestly, I have to admit. But it's kind of like they've decided to, since they're not trying to get the whole market, they go, okay, we can now take liberties with our original customers. So anyway, back to this specific Kia Sportage. One thing that I didn't like about it, and I have a big gripe about it, is actually the manual. It's like, for example, I've driven a Ford Kuga, I've driven a few other, even Vauxhall. When you put your foot down, the third gear feels like you're in second gear. With the Kia, no. With the Kia, you find yourself in first gear. It sounds like I'm driving a diesel, and it's like struggling. This is a 1.6 petrol, for God's sake. Yes, it's a so-called turbo, whatever, but no, not that impressed. I did like, when I was on the motorway, I mean, the fact is, and this is so important for me, very important, if you're going to be a manual car, you need to have 6 gears. If you try to swap that with some little fifth gear and then make the sixth gear your how would you say, reverse button, I mean, it's the reverse button, your reverse, that's shocking for me. I was like, what's the point? Let's go check out what's going on with Leeds Industrial Museum. Hey, love exploring the city. Anyway, what I was going to say is that actually, so I wasn't impressed with that. I was not impressed with that. I was like, come on, make up your mind. But this car has 6 gears, which is perfect for me. I'm on the motorway. I've driven this car to Manchester. So far, the petrol consumption, it's okay. And I do hear it kind of struggling, you know, on the first gear. But as a car that drives, it drives pretty well. It's pretty nice high up in regards to your, how would you say, SUV type of kind of car. But what I would say, there's no lumbar support. You just have back and forth. Okay, yes, I'm in the most basic version of this Kia Sportage. Probably the other one has cooler features, but come on, at least with most cars. Okay, I have all electric windows. Great, perfect. Yeah, how would you say, folding mirrors. Okay, AC does come in nice and quick. It's a new car, it has to. But seriously, this is a 23 plate car, and I really feel as if it's a 17 plate car, which is a 2017 for those who don't know UK car registration. Even I'm starting to get lost because there's so many versions now. They've changed the whole. So I think for a rental it's fine, but in regards to, like, if you're going to buy a Kia Sportage, make sure you go for the top spec. When you compare the prices of cars, and I'm going to have a little mini rant now about car prices, like when cars are now like considered 40,000 your average car price, bear in mind it wasn't that long ago where £17,000 will get you a practically 2-3-year-old car. £20,000 will get you a 1-year-old Audi or a 1-year-old BMW. Now you are kind of grateful if you can get a car for 25,000. This is why you have companies like Dacia coming in and offering deals which they would have never been able to offer before in the past. So to be honest, not that impressed. You know, I don't know. Before with COVID, there was a chip issue, then there's a supply issue, and then now I'm like, okay, what's going to happen next? This is 2023. We're going to soon enter 2024. It's going to be two things. Either it's going to be the biggest car crash ever, or there's going to be a situation, and this is what I think with the whole element of the electric cars, there's going to be a situation where we go back to normality. We'll see how it goes. But besides that, long distance drive is okay. The person who had this car before me, I need to complain to the car rental company, had a dog in it, so that dog was comfortable because you could see all the dog hair on it and everything. Yeah, but basically when it comes to everything else, I kind of think that if I'm ever going to get a Kia, it has to be an automatic. It has to be the top spec. And actually, maybe I might not end up going for Kia. I actually might start going for the Hyundai because they started to look good as well. You know, a car manufacturer has to win your heart and your mind at the same time. And your heart, you walk to your car park, you know this is your car, and your mind in the sense of like, hey, I'm not spending too much money on this car. And I'm sure when you hear stories of football players who are first salary, they went out, they bought themselves a BMW X5, and they were crying themselves to sleep every night because their petrol was killing them. That's what I mean about heart and mind. And in this day and age, if you want to compete, especially with the whole electric, they're doing a great job, I have to admit, on the electric side. The Kia Niro I was driving before, honestly, amazing. The Hyundai actually is going toe to toe with Tesla. And Tesla themselves, they need to be careful, because if they don't soon start bringing a new flavor to the game, people are going to move on. Because us people, we're fussy. We always like the best bang for the buck. Anyway, I think that kind of summarizes my driving experience of the Kia Sportage. A good car if you want to have a SUV. I would recommend you go for the Hyundai rather than for the Kia, especially if you look at the price and what you get. More bang for the buck. Anyway, that's it. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what other cars you want me to actually review, and hopefully now that I'm living out in Dubai, and I should hopefully get to experience different kind of cars you don't see on TV. So, and I'm not too fussed if it's new, old school, I don't care. I like cars. You come to me with an 83 Corolla, I got you. Come to me with a 94 Honda Civic, I got you. Alright? Anyway, that's it for now. You take care, guys. Peace and love. Hey, checking to make sure the police doesn't do a U-turn, because you never know, for all I know.